Welcome back to another episode of Big Freakin' Frank. And here I have a face in front of me that I haven't seen in about a year. And
where you been, Frank?
What's up, brother? This is Devon Larratt. All right, the current WAL world champion. But I mean, you have held titles just about everywhere, right? I mean, you've been a champion for what? It must be 11 years now?
I got my first, I've been arm wrestling a long time, but the big title, the open weight pro ranking, which is really, I feel like it's the definitive number one way to say that you're the number one. Like you can win a world championship in different leagues, but if you're recognized and ranked as the number one super heavyweight in the world, that's the crown. So I got that in 2008. And yeah, and I've held some kind of a world title in some people's eyes since that time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. This is something that a lot of people are asking. I'm going to hit you with a bunch of questions because a lot of people know Devon Larratt as, you know, the guy that I faced a year ago. Some people never followed arm wrestling that are now starting to follow arm wrestling. And I've been having people ask me all kinds of questions, and some of them I don't have answers to. So when is the last time that Devon Larratt lost a match?
Did I lose tonight, boys? Did I lose a match tonight? Not tonight. I didn't lose tonight. Let me see. I don't see my memory. I just erase negative things. I'm the best forgetter you've ever met in your life.
Yeah. But it's a long time. I mean, you have been pretty undefeated for a long time, correct?
Oh, John Brzenk.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was that? How long ago was that?
That was 2015. 2015, right hand finals. Yeah. Dude got me. Dude got me.
A legend.
Yeah. Like probably our very biggest legend.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, you have a match coming up.
I do, yeah.
Michael Todd. Okay, and first, let me tell you, I love what the WL is doing this year. I did a bunch of interviews when I was in Erie, and I love the fact that they're going with the super match style. How do you like that? Do you like it better than tournament?
Yeah, I do. I think that one-on-one arm wrestling tells a way better story of exactly where a person's at. And also, one-on-one arm wrestling is different than tournament format. It really is a slightly different game. You know, if you get 3 or 4 or whatever number of rounds at a person, there starts to be able to work different techniques. Endurance becomes a factor. Just the game gets bigger. So I'm a big fan of super matches.
Yeah. Super cool. And you're undefeated this year, obviously, since it's been years since you've been beaten in any match. So you had a tough one last time. All right. I got to give it to him. You know, he really did a good job against you. You want to say something about that? Because I know you two were kind of clashing a little bit before the show.
Yeah.
And how is he now? Have you spoken to him?
Yeah, so Matt and I are back talking again. It took a while. We fought pretty hard, but this has been our history. We've known each other a long time. And arm wrestling's great like that. We really really get to commit to fighting each other. And it means a lot to us, and we get really invested. But no, Matt and I are buddies, so we always, after the match settles down again, we're good. But Matt actually, he has all the tools to be the very, very best. At the risk of sounding arrogant, I wish he would just come and live with me for 2 weeks, because I think that, he's so talented. His hand is so strong. He just has to learn to chill out a little bit. That's it.
See, now that's the amazing thing I think about Devon Larratt, right? So I can't see you refusing anyone who asked you for help. Am I correct?
Oh, you know what? It's really more about this time that we have on this planet. I mean, if winning an arm wrestling match means that much to you that you're willing to give up some kind of growth in the community, well, I think you should probably check yourself a little bit. Like, I love to win, but I love to help people too. So yeah, if anybody, I'd help Matt. I'd help Michael. I'd help anybody, you know. If they beat me, well, they're still gonna have to outwork me, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, even if they beat you, you know that you did your job. You taught them well, right? So I mean, it's really a win all the way around for you.
Exactly.
And you know, you gave the seminar the day after, you know, our match last year, and people still talk about it. You know, they just thought it was so amazing how much you put yourself out there to help people. And I think that's really cool. And something that I recommend that viewers do is not just watch the Devon Larratt, you know, matches, but you have a lot of information out there. Now, we have a mutual friend, I'm going to screw up his name, Critton,
yeah. The Indian kid.
Yeah, he's in India. He's learned how to arm wrestle by watching your instructional videos. And he's winning. You know, he's doing well. And I think that's really cool when you can touch people on a global level, right? Just by the videos that you put out. So I encourage people, don't just watch your matches. Watch your instructional videos, because I'll tell you, they're awesome. I'll admit I was watching them, you know, and I still watch them.
Well, you should have watched them a bit more, Frank.
Well, remember that was just the first time.
I know, buddy. I know. Listen, next time you see me, I'm going to be huge.
I got,
blowing up, dude. Next time I'm ripping my shirt off.
I'm working with Haynoski, and you're going to laugh, but he just won a WAL, qualifier. So
yeah.
he's doing, we're working well together, and, it's a lot more laid back. It's more of a style training, like you said, where you're not killing yourself every time. Like, you know, a lot of clubs can do. You start ripping each other apart and people get hurt. So it's been good.
Everything is in seasons, you know? Whatever is the truth at this certain moment will not be the truth in 3 months, you know? You just gotta live it. You gotta just live.
Before we jump into this, all right, first of all, if nobody got a chance to watch our match, I mean, it's been viewed over 1 million times on different formats, but for the 3 people that didn't see the match, if people didn't catch the tribute that you gave to Rich Kiana after his passing, because tomorrow is, 1 year since he passed, I encourage people to go and watch our match. You can fast forward, well, you can watch the first round, and then you can fast forward it to your match. The rest is insignificant. And then go to your speech about Rich Piana. It was a moving speech. I really hope that people go and check it out, because it was really an awesome tribute.
To Frank. And I really wanted to say how impressed I was that even with the loss of this great person in his life, that he was able to carry on, and still do this match with me that we both looked so forward to. And I gotta say, you really surprised me. I'm a little bit out of breath. I wasn't expecting him to be that strong. I think you got a great future in this sport. It was really great to meet you.
So, what this is about is helping kids like Garrett Engel right here. Give a round of applause for Garrett, because he's 100 times times stronger than we are up here. And today, dedicated to Rich Piana, who believed in me at a time when I didn't believe in myself, and I wouldn't even be here had it not been for him. So, get a round of applause for him.
Woo!
And to all arm wrestlers that gave me more hate than anything, hopefully, if nothing else, I gained your respect and understand that I only took this to help your sport, and hopefully I can call it my sport now too.
Yeah!
From someone in a completely different part of the fitness industry, you know, arm wrestling, who still respected a man who really loved all sports, and he even put out videos on arm wrestling because he loved the sport. You know, right before I saw you, when I made my way to the booth, they came over and they handed me, I don't even know if you knew this, but they handed me Rich's tag. He was going to surprise me. He was going to surprise both of us and come, and he was going to film a show right from our match. And, you know, that of course would have got millions of views, and, you know, it would have been a really great thing. Unfortunately, he just wasn't around. And, you know, like I said, what you did was spot on, classy. I'll tell you, I think my whole family, my friends, everyone, they just want to strangle Devon Larratt before you showed up in Buffalo. But once they saw the class that you had, and, you know, even the way you were with my kids, you know, you brought them, for people who don't know, you brought them an arm wrestling table that they use all the time. My daughter's getting crazy strong, by the way, and my kids love it, right? So arm wrestling is like their thing. That's their sport. You know, in school, they're the arm wrestlers. So that's due to you, you know, and I see you spread this love that you have for the sport everywhere. Everywhere you go, you know, you're going all around the world, and I think it's amazing.
I try. You know, on Rich, you know, I looked up to Rich. I really did. You know, I actually started my strength journey, I'll say, because of Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was because of Pumping Iron. You know, I opened that book when I was like 4 or 5 years old. You know, and I didn't really read it. I just skipped to that middle part with the pictures.
Yeah.
You've seen the book, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Right. You know, and there was, I'll be honest with you, there was one picture. Do you know the picture I'm talking about?
Which one are you talking about? Is the one in front of the mirror?
No, it wasn't that one.
Which one? You
know, when you're like a 4-year-old kid, just a kid growing up on a farm, there was one picture that just, I was like, I want to be like Arnold. So one, he looked just awesome, right? And it was just like strength. And strength is just one of those things that, you know, when you see a bodybuilder, you're like, that is strength, right? And it's like we see with our eyes, and we can, anyways, it was him with this beautiful chick on his shoulders on the beach. Okay. You know the one?
Yeah, I know exactly
right.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I was like, wow. I'm like, okay, what a dude. And to me, I followed bodybuilding loosely, but Rich, to me, was like, he was like Arnold to me. He was another hero that kind of surpassed the sport, and he spoke to everybody. Like Arnold, I feel like, spoke to everybody, and so did Rich Piana. So I actually found you because you were tied to the 5% brand. That's how we started talking, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So we're together because of Rich as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And, you know, like I said, I hope people go and check that out. Now, you got a match coming up, all right, against Michael Todd. And I'll tell you, every day, I'm sure you see it, every day I'm posting, right? A lot of people, for some reason, do not know who Michael Todd is, which is surprising to me. Like, you're in the arm wrestling world, so, you know, you've heard the name. Everybody in the arm wrestling world, they all know the name. As far as, you know, fitness and bodybuilding and powerlifting, and nobody knows of him, and that's where he started. All right, Michael Todd was a bodybuilder. He was a competitive bodybuilder. So it's surprising that not many people have heard of him, but he is the reigning heavyweight champion.
Super heavyweight.
That's right, super heavyweight champion. And you're coming in the reigning heavyweight champion.
Yeah, but I'm coming up. You know what I mean?
Moved up.
Yeah.
But you moved up.
Pregnant right now.
That's right. And well, let me ask you first of all, why did you move up?
I wasn't given a choice. So what happened was, okay, so I kind of knew it was coming because, so basically everything pointed towards the next era was going to be a super match era. Arm wrestling goes through periods where it goes tournaments, where it goes one-on-ones. And I knew that the period of one-on-ones was coming. And I also knew that if I am going to be in a season with one-on-ones, they're going to start to put me against heavy people. It's really no other way. And what WAL did was they basically took all of their elite heavyweights and they just said, you guys are pulling open this year. And they drew the line somewhere around 205 or 210 pounds. And I'll tell you, I could actually cut to that weight. I know I could. But I have a lot of big things coming up later in the year, which is not going to work with me being 210 anyways. So I'm all in, right? So I jumped in the deep end, you know? Yeah.
Now, your size game, all right? Mm-hmm. You still relatively, I mean, I'm sure you probably still have abs, don't you? I mean, you have a fast metabolism, right? You have,
maybe.
No,
no, I don't.
What's your weight right now?
I'm like 250, 252. Yeah, I'm heavy.
You're a big boy. You're a big boy because you're a lean 250. I mean, really, you could get even bigger if you wanted to.
Yeah, I could. 250 for me this is the heaviest, like 250, 255, like is kind of where I'm sitting right now. And it is the heaviest that I've really ever been in my life.
Yeah. Now, did you have to try to do that or did you just not?
God. So I've retired, right? I was in the Army for 20 years. I retired in fall of 2016. And I didn't realize, and I have never really done a lot of cardio, but, in the last while, but, I didn't realize just running around with my armor and shooting and everything was burning a lot of calories. So, just retiring from my job, I did get a bit heavier. And I've really focused on arm wrestling. And I do eat differently as a super heavyweight than I do as a heavyweight. As a heavyweight, I'm eating responsibly. I eat everything I want really, but I eat more healthy food, a little bit less carb. And as a super heavyweight, I'm just gorging all the time on everything. And no carb is a bad carb,
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And, I just want to touch on it. I don't want to get too far into it, but obviously I'm American, you're Canadian, but I'll tell you, the respect I have for you for your service goes without saying. A lot of people don't know. You were Special Forces, correct?
Is that even possible? I don't know how I slipped through all those cracks.
Yeah. I mean, and how many times, you were deployed?
Yeah,
right?
I did a bunch of tours. I did 20 years, so I did 16 with Special Forces, so I was there a while. It was fantastic. I would do it again in a heartbeat. If we ever go to a serious war again, I'm cutting my hair and I'm going back. But
I'll tell you what, people should respect you for that. No one ever talks about it, but the respect I have for that alone, and also a lot of friends that I have that are military, they talk about all the time, and just they have a ton of respect for you. So I'm sure that you have a lot of military fans behind you as well. Now, I kind of want to get into this match because a lot of people are choosing sides. Okay, I think a lot of people are doing so with their heart, okay, or, with emotion. But what people are missing is that Michael Todd is a serious, dare I say, threat. Correct? Would you say?
Michael Todd is my step to once again claiming super heavyweight relevancy on a world level. That's what Michael Todd is. To ever say that Michael Todd has not been a threat to the #1 spot in the world for over a decade would be false. There hasn't been a time in the past 10 years, if Michael Todd is having a match with the #1 guy in the world, that people didn't think there was a good chance that he could do it. Okay. So listen, before we even get started, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to beat Michael Todd. Okay. But I'll tell you, Michael Todd is, a lot of people are just a little bit ignorant. Okay. Gotcha. When it comes to what the sport of arm wrestling means at a pro level. Okay. Like at the highest level, you cannot say anything bad about Michael Todd or the way he arm wrestles. People talk about his style.
That's where I wanted to go. That's exactly where I was going. So please, right. Tell me what you feel about it. What do you think about it?
Well, I love it. I love it. I think it's amazing. I wouldn't want to pull him if I didn't have respect for it. I got nothing but respect for the way he arm wrestles. King's move, flop, wrist, press. Well, press. Normally it's flop. He's got 2 aces on the farthest boundaries of arm wrestling.
Come on. Come on.
Push down on your elbow.
He's got it. He's got it. He's got it, guys. Let him do his thing. He's got it. He's got it. He's got it. Let him do his thing. Let him do his thing. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
And to say that his middle is poor on an elite level would be correct. But if you think you're some arm wrestler that, he can't hook, well, unless you're in the top few percentage of the world, that's probably false as well. Michael Todd is a really, he's a very, very dangerous arm wrestler. Very dangerous. But I'm more dangerous.
You're more dangerous.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I love when you get ready for a match because you crack me up, right? Some people don't get your sense of humor. I think you're absolutely hilarious. But what people gotta understand is this is your life, right? You're retired from the military. Arm wrestling is your life. You take this as serious as I take breathing in and out. So you're never gonna say, oh, well, they may beat me. Like that's just not your mindset. Your mindset is just like when you were a soldier, your mindset was, I will make it home, right? Your mindset is, I'm going to win. And it just so happens that you actually do. You have been winning and you are on a streak. Yeah. Now, who can beat Devon Larratt?
I mean, it's always possible. I'll tell you, my right hand, I basically retired myself. Just chronic arthritis defeated me on my last reign. There's a lot of, here's the thing, the level of arm wrestling continues to rise. Okay. I'm 43. I've watched this sport change, when I started this sport, there were whispers, we're going to meet here in a month. There was flyers that people would get. You had to know somebody, somehow you'd find a guy who knew how to top roll, and it was like, oh my God, this guy knows everything about arm wrestling. And I've watched the knowledge grow in the community. I've watched the productions grow to a level now where it's very obvious to me in 5 years this sport is gonna be quite mainstream with all the investment, just all the good people who are pushing. So what it's done is it's made this movement of, young people who are already masters, So for me to remain relevant, I basically have to start watching all these kids, you know, and a lot of them are really good and really smart. So, I've learned a lot of things. I've forgotten a lot of things. I have to fight to remain relevant if I want to. I have to fight to remain modern. Yeah. They're out there. Some kid in Bulgaria, kid from Kazakhstan.
What do you have going on? Past this match, okay, what do you have going on? What's down the line for Devon Larratt? What do you have coming up?
Okay, so I've got really there's the match with Michael, and that wraps up the World Arm Wrestling League season, which to me I feel like World Arm Wrestling League is the pointy end of the spear, definitely in North America, and I love their vision. I love their vision. Next stop is, oh my God, you know, it's killing me. November 17th, the Russian Hulk, Denis Saplenkov, right? I'm going to the Diesel Strength Mecca, Rumi, Poland, and I'm going to do battle with this guy. And this has been a long time coming. And if anybody doesn't know who Denis Saplenkov is, you want to talk about strength, you just got to look at him. And
strength, size, he's got a hand like I've never seen in my life. It's almost like he was like, this is one thing. All right. I wanted to bring this up. When people saw you, all right, at the arm wrestling, what is one thing that people come up and say to you? People must say it all the time because when you were in Buffalo, every person that came up to me said, what the hell's going on with his forearms, right? Because you have probably, people need to see you in person, right? Because for whatever reason, you are much larger in person than you look on camera, right? But because you're just a big person. But what you have going on in your forearms and your pronator and just everything, it's like you have morphed. It's like you're morphing your body for the sport. And I try to explain that to people and they don't get it. And I'm like, no, he literally takes his arms to the point of just about breaking micro fractures to make his bones stronger. And people are like, no, you can't make your bones stronger. I'm like, well, that's the way he trains.
Well, you
are literally morphing your body, your arms to be a better arm wrestler. And I don't think everyone out there is doing that. You're doing things that people don't even realize that you're doing. And it's pretty incredible. I try to tell people, I try to explain to people, and it's like they don't want to hear it. They don't believe what I'm telling them, but I've seen it, right? So you're taking your arm to break points, correct?
You're doing body modification. I'm doing body modification. We all have this vision, and we're chasing it, right?
Yeah.
I must have watched too many Popeye cartoons when I was a kid.
Well, I think you mentioned during the seminar that a normal arm, it takes so many pounds of pressure to break. And what you're doing is you're increasing the bone density, right? So your arm is can't break as easily as an average person. And I think that's unbelievable. It's incredible.
I like to say a few things that kind of like arm wrestling, test your frame, test your frame. A lot of arm wrestling, like ideas, it's kind of crazy, man. It's like you're playing smash up derby, okay? Two cars coming right at each other. And it's like you're both exposing your bones to be broken, okay? And that's one of the ideas. There's a lot of ideas in arm wrestling, but this is one of them, okay? And if you've got these bones that are just strong, well, that other guy has to back off. Otherwise, his stuff's going to break. And when that starts happening, then you can start to steer the match and technical sides start to come out. But yeah, man, give me stronger bones. I'll take them.
That's incredible. Awesome. Yeah. Now, Denis is a monster. All right. How do you feel about the match?
I'm terrified.
Holding on. Going to control the wrist by the other steps. Right up in the middle. Chaplenko fighting it back. Look at this fight. 10 feet. Chaplenko right over the table. Taking
it's one of those matches that really, really make me feel alive. You know, it's one of those things that you don't know if you can do. It's going to take everything for me to win that match. It's not something that I can just go do.
Sure.
It's a major investment in my life, and believe me when I tell you, the guy who shows up that day will have magnified all his life's energy into one little burning hot spot, you know, of just strength to bust the dude's hand open, you know. Yeah, that's my life, man. Yeah. Crap.
And then anything past that, or is that what you're focusing on and you're not looking past it?
No, there's one more thing. So the third thing, you know, my father used to say all sorts of stuff and he didn't do it. So I don't want to do that. Okay. I have something that I'm very, very proud of that I've been working at for a long time. And it's going to be a greater contribution, I believe, to the arm wrestling community than anything that I've done so far. And it'll have to do with building our community. But I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to talk about it until I actually have it in my hand. And it's quite a bit of work to do. So, but after Dennis, it's going to be probably my main priority for the next year.
Nice. Nice. So time frame, you're looking at maybe a year from November before you come out and announce what this is?
No, I'm hoping it should be done. I'm really hoping, like, I'm learning that these things do take time, but I'm really optimistic that I should have it by the new year. I should have it.
One thing I've learned about you is you do keep things to yourself, but when you say something's coming, something is always coming.
I promise you.
You said something was coming and the WAL came back. You know, every time you've said that, you know, you've been right. I mean, it's been coming. So I'm sure a lot of people will be excited to see, you know, what's coming on. But going backwards, you have 2 huge matches. All right. I'm excited for this match with Michael because I think it's awesome that you're both reigning champions in different weight classes. People are throwing, people send it to me. So of course, everything that people send to me, of course I share. People threw how, you know, Michael beat Dave Chafee last year and Dave had beaten you, but then people are saying, yeah, but Devon was lighter. So, it's like people are choosing sides and they're trying to guess, you know, what's happening. Now you're saying that you're going to win. So, I mean, like I said, everything that you've told me, you've pretty much done.
I'll tell you, it's going to be insane.
Yeah.
This is not going to be easy at all.
Yeah.
It's probably going to take a year off my life. But I'm cool with that. Michael's a guy who never, ever quits. And that's one of the really beautiful things about him. So you can't really, when the fight is on, you can't break him. When the fight is on, he's in it. Just the unfortunate thing for him is my hand is dominant over his. And I know how to use my hand. I'm not just reliant on my hand being stronger and hoping that this one move is going to win. So while his body, he may have some advantages in his body and his arm over mine. The thing is with arm wrestling, it's the hands that touch. So if you're a person who knows how to stay away from somebody, if you have a dominant hand, it makes it very, very difficult for a guy ever to have access to all that meat that's deeper away, you know? You just stay at a reach. You stay at a reach and you chip away. And that's really my strategy. It's not a big secret. It's not a big surprise. But let me tell you, I understand completion or fullness of victory. And if I can tear him apart more, I will. So if I can go through his arm by the end, because I got 3 rounds. And if I bleed him out enough, round 1, round 2, I'm going to come right at him. You know, I'll in the fight, I like Michael, but if he wants to break his arm that day, I'm going to give him the opportunity to do so.
Gotcha. Strong words.
Listen, man, I'll be happy to break Michael Todd's arm. I'll be happy to do it. I'll take all that. I'll be like Highlander, you know? I'll take it. I love him.
Now,
afterwards, I'd bring him a cake in the hospital, you know? But you know, he wants to come inside on me. He's not going to like it, you know?
Yeah. Now, he has some of the best endurance, all right, in the WAL. Would you agree? Yeah. So he won't be as easy to wear down as some others, but how's Devon Larratt's endurance compared to Michael Todd's?
It's better. I mean, it always has been better. People talk about endurance and arm wrestling like they overvalue it. I'll tell you. Arm wrestling, it really is strength. Endurance comes into play when it's just so close. A lot of people confuse endurance with good technique because the person who has better technique is more efficient. Okay. It's something very valuable. Now, yes, okay, endurance is a factor. Okay. But it's not Michael Todd's endurance that worries me. Like, I've never been worried about somebody's endurance. Mm-hmm. It's their strength. It's their explosiveness. And if somebody's worried about my endurance, it's because they're a bad arm wrestler. You know, it's because they're not arm wrestling properly.
Gotcha. One more question for you. All right. This video, this practice video. What's the story with the practice video that's being sent everywhere?
Oh, man.
Tell me what's going on with this video.
Yeah, okay.
I just got done pulling with Bryce. We pulled Wednesday, started doing that on Wednesday. I got him tired there, Mike. Yeah, I appreciate it. Right where you want. And then he's like, I got him right where you want. WL Stars. That's a whole different ballgame.
I'm really embarrassed for him for so many reasons, okay? So, for one, anybody who's slamming somebody in practice has issues, okay? I'll tell you that right away. Okay, so if you're somebody who's slamming somebody in practice, you should probably take a long, hard look in the mirror and, you know, give yourself a pat on the back or something. Your mother didn't love you enough. I don't know what the deal is. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing is you show up. So I think that was a Sunday, and we were working. There was a WAL Expo in Arizona. So we arm wrestled all day on Saturday, and then he showed up at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon on Sunday after we'd been arm wrestling all day. And yeah, he came in and wrecked house. He did. Nice job, Michael Todd. Nice job. But let me tell you, okay, if the role, it's practice, man, listen. If you think I'm ever going to commit any of my gold against you in practice, any of my tendons and ligaments and connective structure in a practice that I work so hard to get built up, you know, it's not going to happen. And I was lighter. He was heavier. Shortly after that, he blew his pec to bits. He doesn't have the same press anymore. I've arm wrestled him in practice quite a few times since then, and he's had nothing for me. Okay? So if he wants to lie and say something different than that, then just know that he's a liar, okay? Because my word is the truth, all right? Every time I've touched his hands since then, he's been like, oh, Devon, I don't feel very good. And I'm like, okay, Michael, that's all good. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't slam him to the pad 17 times in a row.
When is the last time that you two faced each other in competition?
2011.
2011. That's when you beat him 3-2. Is that correct?
That was Arm Wars. So it was 6 rounds. It was 4-2. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to find out who the heavyweight now is. This, what are they doing? Is this a championship match? I know you're both reigning. Like, is there a hammer for this? What's going on with this?
Yes, there is. So this will be the hammer holder for the WAL 2018 season.
Gotcha.
That's it.
And that's the highest that you're going to get. And then next is Dennis in November.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. This is my wish, and I put this out there. I hope no one gets hurt. Now, you know, Michael's already had a broken hand, so you know.
Do you believe that? Do you really believe that?
I don't want. Well, I don't know.
Man. Propaganda.
Yeah. I hope you guys have a great match. I wish you the best of luck. You turned me into a fan, although to be honest, you know I was a fan before. But the respect that I've gained, you know, since our match, you know, put me over. You've become a good friend, so I think that's great. Someday, you know, when you're 87 years old, maybe I'll be able to beat you, and then, you know, I'll feel better about myself. But until then.
Hey, thanks so much, Frank. Hey,
yeah.
I really had a great time with you, and I look forward to hanging out with you again.
Same here, brother. All right, thank you. Good night, and we are looking forward to WL final. All right, brother.
See you, dude.
All right, brother.